Hello, everyone. This is the inaugural episode of the Jack and Plack show on SBA Network. Everything Strat-o-matic Baseball Association related. My co-host with me is Jack. Say hello, Jack.
It is a pleasure to be here, Platt. How are you?
Are you excited? Are
Oh
you
yeah,
excited for what we have on the menu tonight?
always.
We, we
Anything
got the
strong.
we got the prime rib of Strat-o-matic managers. Uh, yeah. Why don't you introduce our first guest for us tonight?
Oh yeah. Well, as we all know, Mr. Kalin Young, former GM of the Woo Wombats, the current Dallas Driller GM. Obviously, last season wasn't as he expected, but he is looking brighter to the future. Kalin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's great to hear, Kalin. Everything going all right today?
Yeah, it's going pretty well, I would say.
All right, sweet. So why don't we hop right in? Our first segment of the night is going to be pretty much a recap of what has happened in the past 3 seasons of SBA. It originally started out with the first season 1, which Jack and I believe Kalin, were you at the end of season 1 or no?
No,
I was not.
yeah, no, I am
You
the
were
I am
not.
the lone
Jack?
lake monster here. Yeah.
Honorary lake monster. Well, I'm an honorary lake monster, but yes, Jack was in the league back in season 1. He could probably go over that a little bit. Then we'll touch up on a little bit of season 2 and season 3 as well. But Jack, why don't you carry us through the season 1?
Oh boy.
It's the season.
Oh, there's obviously a lot that happened. Standard fielding for one, a lot of different rules. Then, no really relief pitcher rules. So that reigned supreme in that point in time. Stealing obviously was overpowered as crap, as a lot of teams.
Yeah, as you let everyone roll it all over you, right?
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of teams that that you could get away with a lot because stealing was broke. Anyhow, going to the playoffs, obviously it was a inaugural playoffs. We have the 4 teams that were in it. The radioactive fish. We have the West Virginia Black Bears. The prisoners, managed by Petra, and Reed managed back then was the Reno Bandits. So
Yes, the Bandits, a
yeah,
lovely classic name, still alive in the league, so we love it.
yeah, and obviously, there was a lot of the top heavy teams were made it. Obviously, Petra went into it as one of the favorites, obviously, but unfortunately, her run ended early as Kirk Kudsaley, existed, trying to reign terror over everyone, and they got knocked out pretty early, and then Cal. I'm going to say this very clearly and up close. Cal lost a series. Okay, he
Cal lost the series.
a
That
series.
everyone keep
I know.
that in mind.
I know.
Listen,
He lost the series.
Cal lost it.
Reed was able to.
Cal is
handle it.
Cal is the lovely commissioner over the league. He's the dictator that we all listen to, pretty much for all the listeners. Cal has rigged Domo, our dice roller, so he wins every series. You'll get to know that
Oh yeah,
in following series.
totally factual.
We'll go into a little bit of season 2. The season 2 did open up to a little bit more expansion teams, as some of these co-GMs moved on to their separate counterparts. We expanded to 4 divisions. And yeah, Jack and I were on co-GMs of the Fighting Mongoose, shall we say. We had a lovely time after I joined him. But yeah, Cal continued his reign of terror over the league. And now we'll get to the most important season, season 3, where Kalin was now introduced. So, Kalin, why don't you tell us your thoughts about season 3?
Yeah, season 3 was kind of enjoyable. My first time in the league, so it was kind of a learning experience for me.
Was it
But
actually enjoyable?
at times it was, yeah. But it was kind of a learning year for me. being in my first draft, not knowing exactly what I was doing, made some bad decisions, and it kind of bit me in the tail come the end of the season. But I think that by the end of the season, I had things pretty much figured out, and I feel like coming into this next season, I'll actually have a pretty decent shot at making a run for something.
What was your favorite memory of season 3, if you had one? We can all go through this for all of us, shall we say?
Well, I have two. One kind of hated memory, and then one kind of hilarious memory. And so the first one, which was kind of a hated memory, but um, I know several people kind of enjoyed it. But week 3, I believe, of the season, I was facing off against the um, Cosa Nostra team, and I had put Drew Pomeranz on the mound, which, to my surprise, did not go well. And he ended up pitching all 9 innings and eventually throwing his arm out, giving up over 20 runs. So that was the first memory. It was not good. And the second memory was at the end of the season, our second to last game, when Derek was co-GMing with me. He managed to pitch Dylan Bundy a whopping 21 innings and only allow runs in the first inning of that game. So Dylan Bundy pitched essentially 20 flawless innings while fatigued. And I know that's never going to happen again, but it was absolutely hilarious to listen to. And I'm
Oh yeah.
looking forward for Bundy to do some work for me this next season.
You know, half
Yeah,
of me,
I
Kalin, is surprised he's still not fatigued to start this season at the rate that Derek was
I
doing that
know
guy.
it's surprising. I like he might actually be able to start game 1.
Hey, that is a classic off-season workout right there. But yeah, when I saw that pop off across the news ticker, uh, which is our kind of our news outlet, shall we say, for the whole league, um, it was funny to read. It was definitely a belly chuckle that I had right there. But yeah, what about you, Jack? What's one memory that you loved from season 3?
Oh, season 3. There was there's a good few. You know, obviously personally, you know, our team, the New York Titans, being able to make it to the championship was obviously up there. But I'll try and go away from thinking about the championship. That was something.
Yeah.
But
Rip.
honestly, it was kind of just being able to see, like, not memory wise, but kind of just seeing how the whole league meshed was nice. I think everyone, there obviously there's every league's gonna have its, like, arguments and stuff, and having all that kind of jizzy jazz. But yeah, I guess it's more of just being able to see, like, a whole complete competitive, active league that we have now, as it, like, kind of seeing it transform from season 1 to where it is now. I think we are above and beyond, like, ecstatic about how it's ended up.
Yeah, I think the whole league actually meshes very well together. Uh, everyone has their hatred towards Cal, but then we all love him when he does cool stuff with his
It's a
bot
bonding,
and
really. Yeah, it's really just
everything.
like a
Yeah,
focal point
but
for
yeah,
us.
we bond over Strat, and I think that's what makes this league great. I think my favorite memory was when we panicked in the first round of the playoffs. That was just fun. Just having a great laugh after that series and everything.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, we'll run through some of these awards. We'll go through the awards for just season 3. We'll keep it short and sweet, just because those are our award winners that could possibly go back to back. If you know anyone that has like back to backs already, we can say that as well. We'll start off with the most valuable player of our league of the season 3 season was Trevor Story. As we all can agree, Trevor Story did go off for Fox and Denver Zephyr. We have the Cy Young of Steven Strasburg for the Jakarta Jaguars. And then we'll go through the reliever of the year and manager of the year. Reliever of the year was for the Meese, the Yukon Moose. And that was Aaron Bummer. And then manager of the year was Fox for the Denver Zephyr. So what do you think of just those 4 awards? We all witnessed their seasons. Do you think anyone was taken out, or you know?
I mean, for me, anyways, I think it was pretty well done. All the awards, I think everyone got fair. Obviously Derek somehow getting GM of the year ballot. That was, I think, one of the more questionable decisions of the ballot. And I think the Cy Young race should have been a little closer. Obviously, Strasburg had an amazing year, and he did deserve the award. I was just expecting it to not be, that big of a gap in between Hendricks and Strasburg.
Yeah. Kalin, if you had one award or any fun stats that you compiled, what would you like to bring to the table as your season 3 kind of highlight, shall we say?
Well, if that's the case, then I kind of just want to point out the 2 awards that went towards my team. First off, being the overperformer of the year, Kyle Hendricks. I was also a little bit surprised on the gap between Strauss and Hendricks on the Cy Young, but both had really good seasons, and it doesn't surprise me at all that Strauss won. I'm just a homer since Hendricks did very, very well for me and much better than he should have, and looking forward to good things from him this next season. But also, I want to point out the arguably worst trade of the season between me and the Titans, which both of these two were a part of, where I traded away arguably one of the best third basemen for this next season, Gio Urshela, for a slightly lesser third baseman.
Terrible.
He is not terrible, but he is my hometown team, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
And yes, obviously this trade was made before the set came out, so all the numbers might have looked that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would have, been at least at somewhat on par with what Gio Urshela was. And and
I did get some trade compensation for it, or some draft compensation for it, I should say.
Yeah, Jack doesn't have a 15th round pick or previous. Anyways, we're skipping ahead of our schedule, but yes, draft compensation was heavy in Kalin's favor, which we'll hear about how that screws up Jack next week.
I actually don't think I gave up a pick in that trade, if I'm being totally honest. Looking back at it, kind of scrolling through the transactions.
Was it a 1-for-1?
Yeah, it was a straight 1-for-1.
It was not a 1-for-1. I don't remember it being a straight 1-for-1, but I could be wrong.
It was a straight 1-for-1.
Okay, it was a 1-for-1.
I was just looking at it, and yeah. Okay.
Anyways, we give Kalin a break because Kalin eventually kept Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he is a trusty Dallas driller now this year.
Mm-hmm. And it's all.
Though I was given a lot of slack for keeping him.
Yes, you were. But all right, it's time that we move on and shift our interests. We'll just finally go over the season 1 award winner for the World Series was Reed. Season 2 and 3 World Series winners was the same manager, the commissioner, almighty leader of the league, Cal. But we're going to move into a segment called This or That. It's going to be similar to pretty much fact or fiction. Pretty much what you're going to say is either this will happen, which is the this portion of the show, or that will not happen. And that's the that answer to this. Jack and I will run through some questions just one at a time. We'll all talk about it. But I think the first question I have to ask you, Kalin, what will happen, this or that? Cal will win the Season 4 World Series. What is your take?
I do not believe he's going to win this season. Personally, I don't have a favorite for this next season, though I do think that I have somebody in mind who has good potential to be there, but we'll get into that a little bit deeper later.
You should spill that right now. Who do you think is going to win it? We got to change
it now. It is, in my opinion, the sleeper team right now is probably South Burlington, just with how
Okay.
little how little war space they have kept, but with the star power that those players are.
That's very true. I do see that. I am also going to agree with Kalin. I'm going with that portion that Cal will not win the season 4 World Series. I do think a lot of more teams this year are becoming more advanced in scouting, better managers. They know what they're going to do with their draft compared to Cal, who has kept a lot of his players, but who knows what will happen with the rest of his team unless he rigs Domo even harder. But yeah, Jack, what do you think about this?
It's tough. Obviously, he's done what he's done back-to-back years, and seeing the success he's had with, especially season 2, seeing what the success he had with even one Fox, one of the criticisms of like what his roster was. I'm gonna go with no as well. I think there's a couple other favorites like Petra and Caleb are in a really strong position with their draft capital and their keepers. South Burlington, like you were saying, Kalin, also in a very good position. Both expansion teams had a really good year, really good early expansion draft. So I think and kind of what you were going into Plaque about, like, levelness. I think the league has started to level out more. So it will definitely be, I think it'll be harder for him to win, and I don't think he'll get there again, per se.
Jack, you have the next question.
I do have that. All right, so going this or that, the Beast of the East Division will have the best divisional win percentage. Just throw that out to Kalin over there.
I honestly will say that might actually be the case. I do think that the Beast of the East Division is probably got the best combined power between the managers. They've got the greatest amount of history of success between Cal and a few of the others. I do believe that is going to be the division to look out for going into these playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if 2, maybe even 3 teams from that division make the playoffs.
I am going with that will not happen. I am actually going to take a bold stick out here, and I'm going to say the NL West will have the highest team win percentage. I know they're a lot more casual, but I'm telling you, some of these teams I do see, with the Yukon Moose like last year, just coming out of nowhere towards the end of the season. Lyle and Jay Z over there with the Snow Geese. They're getting ready. The Glasgow Unicorns, they're going to have an amazing season. Of course, you have Reed in that division, and you also have Ryan. So I think they have a good manager, set and core. And I know a lot of people would predict them to finish last in winning percentage just because, you got the Dinger Central with all these home runs. As we saw in season 3, power is everything. If you hit the long ball, you're pretty much going to make the playoffs. But you know what? I'm going to take a broad branch and go NL West here.
My favorite part of your
not
describing that Plaque. My favorite, like, you went team by team and said a little snippet or whatever, and then at the end it was just Ryan. there's Ryan. He's there. Let him go.
Well, hey, not anything against the Vatican Angels. We love you, Ryan. I just think all the teams are there. They're ready. He does have lovely David Fletcher, which he has gone and foregone to pass up. But yeah, I mean, I think all the teams are set up very well. We'll just have to see how the draft plays out. Jack, what do you think about
obviously, I think
the Beast of the East?
I'll say this will happen. The Beast of the East will have, if you go down the standings, it's kind of incredible to see the amount of talent that is already in the division. Juan Soto and Paul Goldschmidt with the Kaiju, and the Black Bears having Lamet Acuna, and Kaiju and Black Bears and even the Birds of War have a lot of playoff experience and know what it takes to build a competitive roster. The Black Diamonds and Jaguars, talking about them earlier, both have a lot of really talented players that don't cost a whole lot. So they have positions set and a lot of war to spend on needs elsewhere. And, we're just going to look past my team, but I think when you sit down and look at it, I think overall this division is going to be a good chunk better than the rest of the competition, just because of how they're how they're set up, and B, showing like their past, winnings and such.
Yeah, I do see that. Kalin, my next question for you is going to be: do the Dallas Drillers finish above 500 on the season?
I severely hope that this is the case and that we are above 500. I'm not going to come out and straight up say that we will be a playoff team this year. I do feel like there is room for improvement. If we are not better than last season, I have failed this team. But I do believe that we will be competitive this season, and 500 is definitely achievable.
Jack, what do you think?
I like Kalin was saying, I do think 500 is achievable. Looking back at it, 500, as light as that sounds, it really is hard to get above 500. A lot of the playoff teams if you look in past history, have been hovering barely at the line of 500. And it's a very tough thing to do. But I think Kalin's set up well. He has a good team set up. The starting pitching has looked amazing, and with Lynn, Hendricks, and Bundy, having a couple of good value guys like Rizzo playing first base, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, both bringing their defensive aspects to it, and really having that kind of different division, or the different stadium in that division, I think is going to be big. Not as home run heavy, as he's going to build his team around his ballpark. So I think it's definitely achievable. But again, it's hard to do. Get 500 in this league.
Yeah, I do agree with that. A lot of playoff teams have been just at the line, but I'm also going to agree with this will happen. I do believe the Dallas Drillers are set up for success. Kalin, I believe you will do year 2 even better than year 1. And I'm expecting the playoffs out of you. I won't expect anything less. I believe in you. With that team.
I appreciate that.
My next question for you. I'll skip Jack again because Jack sucks. Haha. Expansion teams. Wow. Both of them in playoffs. One of them in playoffs. None of them in playoffs. Which will happen?
I believe that we will see at least one team. I'm not going to say 2, but there will be at least one. I do think both of them are set up to succeed right off the bat. They both had some absolute steals in the expansion draft, so they are well off going into this next season. It's just going to be a matter of whose players stay healthy and who's just going to get on that run late in the season.
Yeah, I'd agree. I agree with Kalin here. I think looking back at our past expansion, it was 3 out of the 4 expansion teams ended up making the playoffs. I think it's going to be. I don't know if both will, just because of how stacked up some of the new league formatting. It's not just AL and NL anymore. It's the top teams making it. So I'm going to go with 1, but I could see either the Parrots or the Wonder Wolves making it. They both set up pretty well for it.
Yeah, I'm going to also go with 1. I have no confidence in myself. I do believe the Wichita Wonder Wolves will not make the playoffs, but I do believe that the Sao Paulo... yeah, no confidence, even though I did believe I had an alright expansion draft. But I do believe the Parrots will make the playoffs with their hitting prowess, and their ballpark is just crazy tailored to home runs. So, but yeah, Jack, your next question.
Yeah, this is more of a true this or that. Not kind of just a statement here. Which of the two players that are highlighting these teams will do worse this season, or actually, I take that back. Well, which team is most likely to rebound? The Everett Geese or the Vatican Angels? And I'll toss that to Kalin.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I think that the Vatican Angels probably have more to go off of just as it is right now. I do think both teams will improve from last season, but I do think that the Angels, they had the better record last season. I think that they and Ryan will actually be competing for a playoff spot when it comes down to it at the end of the season.
I'm also going to agree with Kalin here. I believe the Vatican Angels do have that set up for success. Not saying I do not believe in the big sky snow geese at all. I actually do believe in them. I think Lyle and Jay-Z are ready for a fantastic year ahead of them. But it is hard to predict, and uh, every division is going to have that bottom team, and the big sky snow geese. There we go. I can finally talk. Will either be that bottom team where they'll shock everyone and be in the running for that leftover spot in the playoff. But yeah, I do think the Vatican Angels do have more in place, depending on what they announce as their keepers. We won't go into that yet because the draft episode is next week. But yeah, I believe that I think both teams are set up for success. They could each both be at the bottom of their division, or they could surprise and both kind of make the playoffs. I think we have time for one more question, Jack. Do you want to do the honors, or?
You got it, Platt. I'll let you. You've been on a roll. I'll let
All
you
right.
keep rolling.
All right. Here's one question, and this will be a straight answer, Kalin. Could Brian Hayes MVP? Yes or no?
I will probably say no in this situation. Even though he might possibly be the best player coming into this next season, just solely due to how much he is going to be cost to play him, I actually will see him probably bouncing around between the minor leagues and possibly other teams throughout the season. I don't think he's going to find a solid place on a lineup just due to his cost.
Jack, this is your time now to speak.
I would probably go no, just because I feel a lot of the bigger cards, as good as they are, I think people look away from them and try and see. There's always those cards that are going to outperform what they are, and I think he'll still be an all-star, and I still think he might be in the conversation, but I just see it going somewhere else, whether that's maybe our first pitcher MVP or our player like Juan Soto or someone like that. It all depends.
And you got to also just take the field in the sense that it's one player versus 200 or almost 800 different players. It's just the probability of it is very, very thin. But I mean, he will be an excellent player this season, assuming he doesn't get hurt. It's just very hard to take one player this early on without having any data to support it.
Yeah. Well, Kalin, it was an honor having you on our inaugural show. I believe this is our time. Our time is up for you with our guests. We do have MCast coming up next, but just give a round of applause for Kalin, the Dallas Drillers GM.
Whoop, whoop. Let him go.
Woo!
Yep. Thank y'all for having me on.
Absolutely.
Kalin, any final comments before you go? You can have. We'll give you 45 seconds just to talk about whatever you'd like.
Strict timer. I got my stopwatch.
Yeah. So, just once again, want to thank y'all for inviting me onto the show. Hope to be on it again soon. I guess to close, just looking forward to this next season, hoping that we, as the Drillers, bounce back from a kind of rough season and that we just continue to develop our players. So good luck to everybody in the league. Good luck, and let's have some fun.
Sweet. Thank you, Kalin. Thank you for welcome back, everyone. This is now the Jack and Plack show. We are back from intermission, and we have lovely MCast, the general manager for the Philadelphia Birds of War. MCast, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's nice being on for the first show. See what you guys, have this podcast and see what we can do.
Oh yeah.
Well, we do have another segment. It is called 20 Questions. Jack and I will rotate, each asking a question from a website that we found. It's funny, nothing serious, nothing too personal as well. We're going to do this pretty much every show just to get to know a general manager better. So, Jack, if you want to start off with the first question, we'll throw MCast right underneath the spotlight.
Yeah. All right, we'll start off with a good question. Is a hot dog a sandwich there, MCast?
Of course.
Of course?
Yes.
You got to give
100%.
a reason.
Yeah, why
100%, because the bun, you get the sandwich, because if, you eat a hot dog sideways, it's a sandwich. Boom.
But is it only a sandwich if you eat a hot dog sideways?
No, it's a sandwich regardless, because you got bread and you got meat, which is pretty much a sandwich. Like when you have cold cuts, what is it? Bread and meat. You even have
that's
condiments.
True.
You have ketchup.
So if you have a peanut butter on a slice of bread, is that a sandwich?
100%. As long as there is bread with some sort of edible thing in the middle, it is a sandwich. I don't want our viewers eating something not edible.
No, that's called natural selection, MCast. Okay, you let them figure that out and come get back to us.
We don't want our viewers eating metal. Yes, no, please don't. All right, well, good first answer. I will agree with you. A hot dog is a sandwich. If you don't call it a sandwich, you're I don't know. I can't be your friend. You're not my friend. We'll just say that.
Yeah. All right.
So, Jack, are you my friend? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I don't know. I feel like its own thing. I can understand why people say it's a sandwich, but I feel like I don't know. It's its own thing. I can see kind of why I can see the argument for both sides, like why it's not a sandwich. Like you were saying, like anything with a thing in bread, and if you put it sideways, it looks like a sandwich. Well, would you eat it in the middle, like a sandwich? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll agree. Just so Platt doesn't drive up to Virginia and
all right.
murder me.
Sounds good. Wait, whoa. I don't know if we're giving away our locations here, Jack. I mean, if you want to be open with our viewers, just give them your street address. Come on now. Anyways, MCast, what is a secret conspiracy that you would like to start?
That I would like to start?
Yes, you would start it. So kind of like aliens are real, even though some people believe in aliens. I don't believe in aliens, So what's one secret conspiracy?
One secret conspiracy that I'd start, that it's not Cal rigging the league, that it's actually the Kaiju.
Oh,
this is where things get spicy, folks.
Oh my gosh. So it is the we are officially going with it's not Cal rigging the league, it is the Kaiju rigging the league.
Yep, 100%.
All right, we're starting that right now. Once we will get off the podcast, I will insert a screenshot, and it'll be react to this poll pretty much, and it'll be like, do the Kaiju rig the league? And we're gonna post it. We're gonna post it. We're gonna see how many people agree.
I like
but
it.
that is very spicy, MCast. I do agree.
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
He would say, I feel like the Kaiju would have something to say against anything in the playoffs. But I don't know. And Cal, playing Cal and losing. So maybe you could be right. It could just be one whole Cal Kaiju collusion.
They're all in it together.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
When you're making a sandwich, what is the first type of cheese you go to?
Well, my counter question is, what type of sandwich am I having? Am I having like,
let's just say
am I
like
doing cold cuts?
Yeah, cold
or
cuts.
am I
Yeah.
doing?
We'll say cold cuts.
Okay,
For the sake of it.
I'm doing cold cuts. I'm a big, like not so much American cheese. I'm more of like I like provolone. I do love mozzarella. I could have pretty much mozzarella with everything, but not so much with cold cuts. So I would say like either Swiss or like provolone.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Nice answers.
I'm pretty much a provolone guy.
I won't challenge this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I won't challenge this. All right, we're gonna hop into what is this? The fourth question. What is the weirdest thing you have seen in someone else's home?
In
Absolute
someone
weirdest.
else's home?
Yes.
No.
Oof. I don't know off the top of my head. Like, actually, one of the weirdest things I've seen was my friend's girlfriend hung a giant marlin in their house, like a fake marlin. And the entire time I was over, I was trying to find ways to take it off the wall and steal it.
Yeah, that is that is something new. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. Do they know each other well, or is it kind of just like Saturday night knowing them? Just I have a picture right now, or what?
What the people? It was my friend's girlfriend, so like they're still together now. But like we were over there for a party, and I wanted to steal her marlin.
Yeah, no, I would totally get that. Burn that shit. Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, we are now on to question number 5.
That's me. Yup. If you could describe your stay in SBA in one sentence, MCast, what would that sentence be?
Mookie Betts and Jacob deGrom are the best. That's my sentence.
Wow. Yeah,
easy,
convincing stuff. Yeah, that's pretty.
Do you think you have a positive outlook for Mookie Betts and Jacob deGrom this year?
deGrom had some bad luck last year. He was definitely hit by the long ball. He only had one spot that could really hit him with the long ball last year. So hopefully this year a little bit different. Hopefully, not as many hitter home runs on him. But it is a very home run league. A lot of teams like their home run ballparks, so I can see if anything, the big thing for him limits the home runs. He's going to have a good year. So that's what we're all looking for.
Yeah. Question number 6 is: if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would peanut butter be called?
Oof. Oh, what would it be called? Yeah, I feel like it would be like something with like paste, because it's like, kind of like not like sticky, but it's like that weird, like kind of like it's hard to chew. So I feel like it'd be more like something with like paste,
like a nutty paste is what we'll call it.
I don't like that part.
Yeah, like
please don't.
Paste.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound good, but
please don't call it sweet. Anything but that, I'm okay with.
The nut paste. How about that?
Nut paste. Nut paste.
Nut paste.
Okay. Sure.
Sounds awful.
Sure. Yeah. No, I would never put that anywhere near
I would
my
not
mouth.
eat it.
I think it might be worse than the freaking other one, Plack. Come on now.
Man, sorry, I had to find out.
Oh, jeez.
Question number 7.
Yup. Yeah, if you had a baseball bat and you were sitting in the middle of center field, and let's just say a mob of 10-year-olds came, how many do you think you could knock out?
So we had this.
Well, no, it's a good question. I mean, think about it.
I know it is a good question.
We had this conversation in the Rays dugout, who I'm on my MLR team. So just questions I need to know: are they all swarming at me at once, or is it like odd zombies where it's like, first round has 10
no,
zombies?
It's all at once. Yeah.
It's round 40 of Call of Duty zombies pretty much coming at you.
Right from the start?
Right from the start.
Yeah, right from the start. Right from the get-go.
I think
You're gonna have to train them and everything.
If I could sit there in center field and just start getting a nice swing going, like around in circles, like like Thor does with his hammer, I think I could take out a good amount and then get so dizzy that I just pass out and I won't have to have them beat me up. So I think it's like a win-win for both of us.
Gotcha. But if you had to put a number,
I'd say I could take out I'd say 10 plus. I'd start just haymakers all over the place.
I could see that.
All right. So question 8. If you could be one baseball player, one baseball player, this could be from the beginning of baseball to now, who would it be and why?
So hard. I'm not gonna go one of my favorite players because everybody would pick that. But one of my favorite names in baseball that I've ever seen was Quinn McCracken. So I'd be him because he's got a cool name.
True.
That's very valid reasoning.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like a Wagenspat or whatever it is. Wagspat.
Yeah, it's all about the names. If you got a cool name, it's all in.
If you got a cool name, you're set for life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like MCast. Gosh, you're already set for life. Come on.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, question 11.
Oh, we are already at 11, huh? That's where we did.
Yeah, we're flying by.
Yeah, she's easy peasy. This is tough. All right. Let's see here. I just will go more into the sports name and what are your top 3 sports names of all time across all sports? Top 3.
Are you talking
like all
teams
time
or players?
Players. Yeah.
Oh, top 3 of all time. Well, of course we're gonna go Quinn McCracken number 1, like that last question.
Oh yeah. Well, that was thought. Yeah.
Definitely Coco Crisp is another cool name too.
80 grade name, yes.
Yeah.
Imagine looking at your kid and just being like, "Yep, that's Coco." Like, what?
Right?
What?
Crazy. And then third coolest name. Well, I don't even know. It's just I feel like I'm just trying to think of outrageous baseball players or people's names. I don't even know. I would just want to be those first 2, and I'd be fine with it. As for a third, oof.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd get it. Those 2 already take up a good chunk of what you're trying to do.
I guess being having your name everybody just calls Babe Ruth. Your name's like Babe. You just have that much of a stature that you're like.
Yeah, that's Babe over there. Yeah, I really wanted you to say John Smith or something like that. I think that would have been
the most generic name possible.
Yeah. All right, so we've been this is question 12. In baseball, over the past year, there's been the unwritten rules of baseball. What are some of the unwritten rules of SBA?
Unwritten rules of SBA is it's kind of with sportsmanship, just not trying to show up the other opponent because you don't see them in person, but you can tell when a team is really down after a game. You get some bad rolls and you're like, ooh, you can really tell. So it's kind of just staying composed when you're up a lot, trying not to be an ass about it. If both teams are joking around, it's one thing to kind of do it, but when it's middle of the season, you're fighting for those playoff spots, and it's not going your way. You can get some real stressful innings. It's kind of not being an ass and really showboating in front of your teammate, in front of your opponent.
Yeah, I think Jack and I would both agree with that. Yeah.
Maybe not
question.
Yeah, stealing too. I would put on there stealing
definitely.
55, and that's not an MLB rule too.
Oh yeah.
Petra.
Yeah,
looking at you.
Oh, unless it's Cal or the Kaiju, right?
Or
the Kaiju. They're conspiracy theories. I'll steal up 400.
Yeah.
All right, question 13. We're flying through.
I know, seriously, I'm running out of stuff to do. All right, we'll go a little easier here. World Series favorite for this season, MCast.
I think everybody in SBA already knew that answer before Jack even finished it. Of course, it's the New York Mets. How could you say no? How could you say no when you got Jacob DeGrom on your team?
Jacob DeGrom.
And Francisco Lindor, right?
All right, we got them all. We had a good off season. So I'm hoping we stay healthy. Bullpen does its job to get a rebound from Familia, Betances. Edwin Diaz continues what he did last year. Rebound from Alonso. Could have some nice run. But
We'll go off of question 13. Still continue like question 13B. I'll ask another one after this. But do you think practicing the final out of the World Series will hurt the Mets?
No, I don't think so. Because I think teams all around the league kind of do like funny things like that. Because it just kind of keeps it loose. So you're not so that way you don't really feel like you're at practice. You're like just kind of joking around with like a bunch of friends in a sense. So it's more to just kind of keep them loose than actually like, hey, we're gonna win. So
okay.
I like it. I like it instead of just being like, because like what do you do at the end of 27 outs? So you jog in. It's like okay, kind of fun. So kind of have a little fun with it.
Yeah, you got to practice that perfect game and everything.
Exactly.
All right,
like look at the Cardinals.
14.
They tried to kill each other.
Question 14. Question 14. We're gonna test if you're a little bit of a comedian, MCast. What is the funniest joke you know by heart?
No.
Funniest joke I know by heart.
Yeah. You gotta have some jokes, right?
Yeah, come on, funny guy. Do the funny. God.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a guy who just says like witty remarks. Because like my sense of humor is kind of like dark, so like I don't know if people like it.
What's your wittiest remark then? We'll change it for you. Since you're not a fun guy. Ha 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 ha. Got it? Get it? No.
But I can't wait to see when you have kids and you'll just become like the ultimate dad. Just the New Balances on, like the sun visor, the freaking white T-shirt with the like short khakis.
I guess it depends on the situation because like you need like to follow up what somebody like somebody said or somebody did to have the witty remark. You can't just be like, because like every witty remark doesn't go with every situation.
That's very true.
Does that make sense? But my one joke that I know, it might be a little dark. No, but like,
go for it.
How did you know that Princess Diana had dandruff?
Oh gosh, how?
Her head and shoulders were all over the dashboard.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, Princess Diana, Queen, whatever you are now.
Was she a queen?
She was not a queen. Time out.
Yeah, I think she was just a princess, right?
Just a princess? All right, then princess. Sorry, princess, or anyone who loves Princess Diana watching the show. We are sorry, but MCast is just the comedian here, and that's what he rolls with. All right. We have now question, 15? This is 15? Yeah.
Yeah. How about that, huh? I had it, and then I didn't have it. We'll go with how were you introduced into the league, MCast?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Lyle put something in Slayers. It was either Lyle or Cal put something in MLN, and I kind of just joined off of that. And then like they just said, I was like, oh, it's a baseball game where you roll dice, and I was like, all right, cool, I can do it. I like baseball games, and like I've played out, OOTP, I played all these games. So I was like, why not another one?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Mine's gonna go off of that. Who is your favorite, or shall we say, maybe not your favorite? We'll do a 2-part. Who's your favorite person to play, and who is your arch nemesis? Like, who's your rival? Who would you consider your rival?
Rival? I'd say Berna. I'm always happy when Burner doesn't make the playoffs and loses. It's a big fan. Favorite person to play? I don't know. It'd probably be Jack, because Jack's just always like, because Jack, like, as soon as something goes wrong, he just starts to he like breaks down, but it's not like in a bad way. It's like he's like, oh no, I really like, he's like really regretting playing.
I'll just it's more of me just being like disappointed about every decision I've ever made. Yeah.
Literally.
Like, oh, okay, this is how this is now, huh?
All right. Well, question number 17 now.
Yeah. What is your favorite position to play? I know you play baseball, so why when you go out and play, what is your favorite position to play?
I'm a pitcher. So
At least they're gas or what?
Yeah, that's all I try to do in my men's league. Just try to cheese people up. That's my goal. I'm there to
it's nothing. It's nothing like scrawny Jack over here
Hey,
who
bro.
throws 55,
Hey,
55 miles per hour.
Yeah, I top out at 57. Okay.
Okay. All right.
My goal for this year though is 87. That's my goal.
Oh, Jesus.
So we'll see if I can hit it.
No.
Well, you gotta let us know if you do later in the season when you're back on the
87.
podcast.
That's like Kyle Hendricks, like now. Like that's how hard that man throws. Like what?
All right.
MCast
So
next Kyle Hendricks confirmed or what? I don't know. Look out, folks.
So what would be the creepiest thing you would say while passing a stranger on the street or someone in SBA? You can choose either one and say what would the creepiest thing be.
Oh.
Yep.
It would definitely be something about my mustache, because like mustaches are kind of creepy to begin with. So like if I can make some sort of comment about my mustache while like maybe like rubbing it, like and just make people feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Maybe just like brush up against their face with your mustache. Yeah. That'd be pretty creepy. Yeah.
Rub my mustache across Jack's cheek.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think Jack might like that, but we're not going to go into that.
We don't kink shame here.
Question number 19.
Oh fuck, that's
Jack.
me.
Yeah, Jack, that's you.
We'll go with if you had to pick. Every time DeGrom gives up a home run in SBA, you get $1 million, or you can get $100 million up front. Which one would you take?
Is this like in his entire career? I gave him $1 million, or just this season?
Yes, in his entire career, not from his card now onward until he retires.
I would take the $100 million right now, 100%. I could flip that in the market so much faster. Take $1 million every time.
The stocks are going. AMC.
100 million. $100 million. I can retire tomorrow.
True.
100 million, right?
That's true.
We got the wise man MCast in here.
That's true.
I'm already retired.
Well, we're gonna finish it up with this segment with the final question. Question number 20, the famous 20 question. 20th question, shall I say? We all play online, and we all deal with Wi-Fi now in everyday life. What is the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?
Best Wi-Fi name I've ever seen?
Yeah, I've seen some good ones. So,
I just don't know off the top of my head. Like, there's of course always good ones in like college and stuff. Like with everybody being in the dorm room together. I don't actually know. I made mine just my name only, so that way then like my rest of the family tried to connect, and I was like, "Ooh, sorry, you don't have the same name as me, so you couldn't connect." And I never gave him the password for like a good week. So, but like in terms of like best Wi-Fi, I don't know, because I don't remember. Like college was 4 years ago, so I don't remember any of like the names from there. But I'll be on the lookout. I'll come back later on. I'll let you know. I'll find some good ones.
That's true.
All right. So we are running up on our time. We were gonna go over the expansion draft tonight. I believe we're gonna save that for next week. Sorry, Joseph and Kiger, or the cheaters / rigging people, the kaiju. We will go over your article that you sent in next week with next week's episode of the draft and expansion draft recap, which will pretty much be 30 minutes of all the draft recap, and then we'll do some of the fun segments we did tonight. But I did promise MCast before he got off that we were going to give him a 60-second segment just to make fun of our co-host Jack. We know all these a couple of people, so Jack will actually have to go mute right now. I need to see it on the screen.
Oh my god.
And I might give MCast just a little bit over because Jack sucks, Derek sucks, and Cal sucks. We gotta all show hate to them. So Jack is muted, and I'm joking. We love all these, but MCast, you get your 60 seconds starting in 3, 2, 1. It's all yours.
I will say, Jack, you might have some of the worst handwriting I have ever seen. But I will say that in season 1, when you sent us your scouting of players, and I don't think one word was legible, that was top tier content, because we even made it. Pretty sure Petra made it into a command in chat. How else can I go after you? Also, in terms of my favorite was the other day when Cal was, early in the year, Cal was umping you, and he put the old lake monsters, and what happened right after that? You gave up a home run. So you're really cursed with the lake monsters. It might have been the best / worst team in season 1.
It might have been the best.
Yeah, definitely the best, just because it was Jack.
All right, I have one thing to add to MCast's stuff. Jack, you're the worst manager. I carried us in the Titans
100%.
and the Mongoose. So, yes, 100%. Jack might be the worst manager ever. All right, Jack, that is the make fun of Jack segment that we will only have when MCast is on our show. Jack, you went through the pain. How do you feel, bud?
I would be mad if like half the stuff wasn't already true. So I'd be a little more mad, but I just accept it. And we'll see, Plack. We'll see who's the better manager here for these upcoming seasons.
We will see. We will see this upcoming season, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for joining. This is the Jack and Plack Show, the inaugural episode. We thank you for listening if you've made it this far. We hope and you enjoyed all of our segments, our recaps. We will continue with next week's episode, going over the expansion draft and the season 4 draft, where we'll pick out some popular picks and all that. We will also have another segment of 20 questions, and we will have a 4th segment that is actually hidden, and we will announce that next podcast. This is Jack and Plack signing out, and see ya.
Yep, have a good night.